everyone, it's Pamela here with O Natural Aromatherapy. We're here for our weekly show this afternoon. I've got a special guest for you, and I'm sharing this love all the way to San Diego, California. My guest today is Mr. Robert Schawn. I met Robert through a Schawn. I
Rodney.
hope I'm saying that right. Rodney Schawn. Woo. I met Robert through a mutual friend that was on the show just about a week ago, Linda Ann Khan. And she mentioned this person that I had to meet who's been in the industry for years. He's energetic. I mean, so accomplished. He's a holistic health aromatherapy practitioner. He's a consultant and he's also an educator. Rodney is the owner of a aromatherapy institute and spa, and I'll let him tell you all about it. Without further ado, let us welcome my guest for today, Rodney Schawn. Hi, Rodney. How are you today?
Hi. Welcome, everyone.
It's so good to have you here. I'm so delighted that you took the opportunity to spend this time with me. And I know we had a few glitches, but we have our angels on our side that are, I mean, they're working it out for us and making it all happen. And I'd first like to get right into it and ask you to tell me a bit about yourself before we get into the meat of this interview.
Well, I've been in the field of aromatherapy for near 30 years, and I started in the perfume industry and was hired by Chanel and then decided to get my skincare and uh, while I got my esthetician license, I was introduced to the aromatherapy and botanical aspect of skincare, botanical sciences from European specialists. And after a short period of time thereafter, I studied the aromatherapy and massage with Light Miller, and I received my holistic massage license. And Light Miller went on to write books on Ayurvedic aromatherapy. So my initial foundations were in Ayurvedic, and then the traditional Chinese medicine applications of aromatherapy as I studied from Victoria Edwards. And Victoria Edwards introduced me to Robert Tishrand. And that's in your excitement in introducing me, that's where you mixed me and Robert up.
Yes, I did. I
Um,
I gotta say, I'm really excited. We have had so much in common, and you're gonna share a bit more about that later. But for now, I know you found your way into aromatherapy, but that doesn't happen just like that. How did that progress? Tell us a bit more about that progression.
well, I think you just follow your nose. And so as you're first exposed to perfume, then when you're exposed to the pure therapeutic essential oils, and as you acquire a more uh, tuned in application for self, then it's a natural progression to want to support and help others.
It is.
And so I'm very much a helper, and I was able to find my way into that profession. And then I found skincare fulfilling, but not well, as I was exposed to more critical care and challenging health situations through the applications and holistic applications of aromatherapy. That's how I found my way into integrative medicine. And I founded, based on a vision that was supported by Robert Tishrand, I found my way into the hospice and setting up a model hospice program. And I worked with San Diego Hospice for 15 years.
Tell me a bit more about how did Robert Tisserand support your professional goals in aromatherapy? I know a bit of backstory, but share it with our audience.
Well, I'll tell the short version. It's a lemons to lemonade story, and I was having a lemonade stand in front of my first aromatherapy clinic, and my teacher at the time, Victoria Edwards, brought Robert, whom sat and drank the lemonade with me and signed my book. And I had set well, so he then gave me his business card, and I started working with him. I introduced the Tisserand range of products to the Nordstrom San Francisco store and set Robert up with a very large education program there. And then that progressed to him and the Tisserand Aromatherapy organization bringing me to um, London. And that's when Robert taught me he showed me his techniques in blending, and I was exposed to his institute of nurse practitioners that were graduating from the Tisserand Institute, had a clinic at Elizabeth Hospice. And I was able to observe the applications of aromatherapy in a clinical setting, and I had never been exposed to that level of medical. This is 1992, mind you. So at that time, aromatherapy hadn't really started in the United States. And so at that point, I got a vision. I shared it with Robert. Robert supported me. And within a period of time, I was able to I was studying under Valerie Warwood, and I have my certification with Valerie, and that was a 2-year program. And I chose to do medical observed case studies, and so I was able to volunteer at the San Diego Hospice Institute for Palliative Medicine, which then moved into, once I was able to show the benefits of aromatherapy, we were funded by grants. And that led to a 15-year practitionership, really. And I was able to head up the aromatherapy and integrative medical program there at the Institute of Palliative Medicine at San Diego Hospice. And we were able to treat over 60,000 patients. And this was with the medical order, and the aromatherapy was compounded in the pharmacy and administered for routine lavender bed bath. There was treatment for anxiety, spiritual suffering, emotional needs, and general pain and symptom management. And
Wow.
I have a whole program now that is supported as I'm on faculty with Scripps Medical and UCSD medical program here that supports a palliative fellowship in medicine. And so we continue on with the education, and does that help answer all that?
Oh yes, it does. It's just, I'm excited because not only do I have a professional in the industry with me today, you're sharing some valuable nuggets. So what I love that lemon to lemonade story that you shared with Robert Tisserand, but I also have a connection with him. I met him not in person, but he's such a wonderful person that he actually responded to me on a social network, which was LinkedIn. It was about maybe 2014 or thereabout. I had just joined LinkedIn and I started to focus my career goals towards aromatherapy. I wanted to be a certified aromatherapist because I felt like I had a golden nugget that I was only sharing with family and friends. They were the ones benefiting from the natural pain meds and other remedies that I came up with. So when I had the opportunity to send him a note, and I was uncertain whether or not he would respond, I said to him in this little note on LinkedIn, "My name is Pamela Gomez. I have an interest in becoming a certified aromatherapist. Can we have a conversation?" And it may have been 24 hours. He responded and he said, "Sure." And I sent him another note and I told him a bit about my background. I told him how my mother was convalescing at home for a while and she had since passed. And my mother also wanted natural health solutions to help her during her convalescing time. And we found essential oils, but it wasn't long after that she had passed. So I said to him, "I want to continue this. I want to continue this trek. How can I study without leaving home?" So he said, "Call my friend Andrea." And right off the blue, "Call my friend Andrea Buttigieg and she will tell you about her classes. Andrea has a school," and so on and so forth. And he recommended her. So I reached out to her and she accepted me into the school. But the thing about it is I was working full time. I was the lone breadwinner in my house. I was taking care of my mom and my brother. And she said, "Okay, I understand your position. When you're ready, I'm about to launch my online class and you could get in. No problem." And I did. And in 2017, just last year, early part of last year, I got my certification finally. And I did not leave work and go into it full time. I was growing my business and making awareness of what I was doing. And writing a book, I might add. But Robert Tisserand was such an inspiration and an influence. He aligned me with his company in the UK, and I am proud to say I am a distributor for the company. So I promote the Robert Tisserand brand of products here in the Bahamas, as well as on my online store. But I gotta say, your hospice program, the story of how it was funded and how you got started, it is awesome. Tell me a little bit more, just a little bit more about that program you founded.
Well, what I can say is that if those that are listening to this, they can contact me, and I published an article in the International Journal of Clinical Aromatherapy in 2007, and then thereafter I spoke at the IFPA conference there in London. What I would like to say is that all the information I have in that article, and if you contact me at aroma4.com, and I can send you that article. And recently, I've also published an article in the International Journal of Clinical Aromatherapy on the Maslow's hierarchy of need for Alzheimer's, dementia, and pain and symptom management using aromatherapy. And I can forward you that article as well.
Oh,
And
yes, please.
because the aromatherapy is really quite a creative, but also when integrating into medicine, it requires speaking a little bit more of a medical language, and those articles will support you towards that. Um, and what I'd actually like to speak to is a little bit more of what I've been doing beyond hospice.
Yes. Would that be the holistic massage and assistant
Well,
practice?
it is. And so I've continued the practice of, and the traditional method of aromatherapy which has somehow, at least in the United States, changed a bit, where I'm a hands-on practitioner. So treating the skin and treating the body with aromatherapy is not just inhalation, it is based on evaluation and then treatment. So the treatment protocol is blending a customized blend. How I do so is based on a model of matching or mirroring the personality of the person based with the Enneagram and how stress affects each person
Yes.
and where that settles into the body and which essential oil is going to trigger that body mind relationship. And then I use additional oils based on the conditions of stress and or wellness needs. Or this also can cross over into sports or into just skincare and the right revitalization and health of the skin, anti-aging and so forth. And then I also have programs in the senior care and in interdisciplinary um, programs in working with medical, complementary medical, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and I have activity programs that I have throughout the San Diego County here, where I go in and I work with the seniors, and then I have monthly themes, such as right now we're working with the seeds and the cognitive alertness benefits of cocoa bean, which is a seed. Also, I'm now working with an intergenerational program where the children come in and work with the seniors. And we learn as children are developing their senses. I have a program that helps the elderly remember long term and short term memory and mirroring and matching wellness needs, and then teaching children the little bit about the basics of living at one with plants and nature and the smells and the exploration of the working with nature. And we're even planting sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and the pumpkin will mature for the pumpkin harvest in October.
Wow.
And
That
there's a garden where these will be growing and they'll be able to watch the growth and observe. And then we have a pumpkin feast in October. So I'm just so excited about how this is, how this all has evolved. And specifically, where for 15 years I worked with patients that were dying and the elderly that were dying. Of course, the patients were all age ranges, but specifically more in the elderly. And for the past 5 years, since San Diego Hospice had to unfortunately close, and I moved on to helping seniors live and prevent diseases and helping them stay healthy and viable in their purpose and meaning in life. And this is also where this interacts with working with the children.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. Rodney, how can someone contact you? I know you do a lot of educational courses. If there's someone out there watching who would like to do one of your courses, how can they contact you?
Well, I have on my website, aroma4.com, I have a home study program, which is very short and specifically to the point, based on evidence. Everything is evidence-based with research articles. And what I had forth mentioned is how I walk a person into how to develop programs in their personal life with mindfulness in aromatherapy and utilizing the senses such as music, therapeutic music in aromatherapy, and working with self-care, self-touch, and then how to apply these care techniques through activities and through hands-on techniques with others. And so this supports an individual who might be a nurse or a person who doesn't do touch therapy,
Yeah.
with working with inhalation or therapeutic uh, non-touch techniques or touch techniques based on the healing arts. And I'm just in the hands-on study where I do the clinical courses here in San Diego. I'm videotaping and in the final editing stage. So all these courses are available for online streaming.
Thank you, Rodney. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here today. I want to share this love with all of our listeners and watchers, our replay viewers. Please, if you found this interview, this show today very interesting, please share it out with your friends and your community. Tell them about the great work Rodney's doing in the San Diego area. And because he's in San Diego, that does not mean Rodney cannot reach out to you via the web. Pardon me today, I'm a little tongue tied. There's so much excitement in the air. Today is the independence of the Bahamas. It's 45 years of independence. Hence, I'm wearing my independence shirt. I wish I could show it to you guys. And also, it's my birthday week. So,
Oh, happy
yes,
birthday.
thank you. My birthday is on Saturday, but the week always seems so festive. So, I try to do a little something each day that brings a little, laughter and joy. And this interview today was really heartwarming. Rodney, I have to thank you, and I do apologize for the little bit of tech issues we had behind the scenes, but we got it all worked out. So with that, I'm going to say thank you to our viewing audience, and we'll be back next week, this same time, Tuesday or Wednesday, more than likely, sorry, Monday or Tuesday, more than likely, with another interesting interview with someone in the industry, in the aromatherapy industry. With that, I say thank you, and I'm sharing the love. Rodney, I'll be right back.